Good morning, dear students. First of all, I wish you a day full of happiness and joy. Yesterday, I got some mails regarding the inability to understand the first chapter, The Ice Habit well. So, I decided to highlight the summary and shed the light of knowledge upon this chapter. So, here I would start with the author Ruskin Bond's introduction. Ruskin Bond, born in 1934 at Himachal Pradesh, is an Indian writer of British descent. A prolific and powerful writer, he has added a huge stack of short stories, essays, novels, and children books to the library of contemporary English writers. Dehra has been the setting of most of his novels. The story is a first person narrative and keeps the reader elevated from beginning to the end. A versatile writer and a man of colorful personality, he is still active. No surprise that the short stories are timeless. Dear students, now I would like to tell you the summary of this finest composition by Ruskin Bond. Here in this story, the narrator is a blind man on his way to Mussoorie by train. He is alone in the train when a girl boards his compartment. The girl's parents bid her goodbye at the station. They were very anxious about her well being and advising her regarding where to keep her belongings, not to lean out of the windows, and to avoid talking to strangers. Once the train leaves the station, the narrator starts a conversation asking if she too is going to Dehradun. The voice startles her as she thinks herself to be the only occupant in the compartment. She answers in the negative and tells him that she is en route to Shahranpur to visit her aunt. He informs her that he is traveling to Mussoorie. After conversing for quite some time now, the narrator appreciates her daringly, saying that she has an interesting face. She is happy at this and surprised as it was a welcome deviation from a often repeated phrase, "You have a pretty face." Soon it's time for the girl to bid goodbye as her destination comes into view. After her departure, a man enters the compartment and apologizes for not being as attractive as the traveling companion as his predecessor. When the narrator asks him if the girl had her hair long or short, he replies with interest that he had noticed only her eyes, which were beautiful but of no use as she was completely blind. It is only then that the narrator realizes that the girl too was blind. In this story, the narrator's eyes were so sensitive only to light and darkness. While going to Dehradun by train, he comes across a girl. He starts conversation and gradually becomes interested in her. He tactfully hides his blindness from the girl to impress her. But the conversation does not last long. The girl bids him goodbye as the train arrives at the station. After her departure, a new male passenger comes into the compartment. From that man, the narrator learns that the girl was completely blind. The revelation shocks the narrator. He feels that he has deceived himself. This is an ironical twist that makes the end of the story so appealing. So, dear students, what you have learnt here in this composition, you can see the narrator was blind and fond of talking. He wished to hide his blindness from the girl, while the girl was smart and focused. The narrator was a romantic fool who was ready to believe a girl by her ringing laughter and vibrant voice. The narrator represents men in common who love the company of a woman, while the girl represents women in common who love the safety in the presence of a man and vanish without a goodbye because she has reached safely. Ruskin Bond kept the pulse of the reader high with the narrator's attempts to escape, the chances of his being caught by the girl's smart questions and remarks. At the end of the story, the reader realizes that it was not the girl that the narrator had been fooling, but it was the reader that the author had just fooled. Dear students, you can see in this prose, Ruskin Bond has embellished this composition using a literary device, that is situational irony. What is a situational irony? It is a literary device to decorate any poetry, to decorate any prose, to beautify the language of literature, in which both the characters and the reader are unaware of the implications of the real situation. Various examples are there of this sort of irony. In the story of The Gift of the Maggie by O. Henry, you can see a wife sells her most prized possession, her hair, to get her husband a Christmas present, a fob for his watch. Fob means currency or money. On the other hand, the husband sells his most dear possession, his treasured gold watch, to get his wife a Christmas present, a comb. But ultimately, in the end, both the presents are unusable. So we can see this story is an excellent example of situational irony. Ironically, the author employs two blind people as his main characters, yet neither knows that the other is blind. That is the beauty of this prose. Even after listening to the parents' conversation with the daughter, the narrator could not distinguish any unusual advice or information that led him to believe the girl had any handicap herself. Hoping to keep her from realizing that he is blind, he describes the scenery from his memories. To continue the move, the narrator tells the girl that she has an interesting face. The narrator fooled himself. Apparently, he also misleads the girl because she did not realize that her fellow traveler was blind either. So, dearies, this is the end of this chapter. I do hope you have understood it very well. For any further queries, do comment me in my comment section. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.